Welcome back to the Date Obsessed Fat Guy, y'all, and this is what I ate yesterday. It's not so bad. The standouts are like, the bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and the great amount of pork rinds I ate. Normally I don't eat pork, but pork rinds have good macros and I become addicted to them. They don't upset my stomach at all. I was watching this other channel last night, well actually no, a couple nights ago, and watched it again last night, and this is where the banana walnut ice cream is coming from. Name's not even accurate. I changed so much about it. The original recipe calls for using maple syrup. I swapped that out for honey. Next time I'm going to swap it out for allulose. Added pecans. And it didn't give any amounts. It just gave a general, list of ingredients to use, and I went for it. And normally I just avoid bananas because those are just freaking super sugar carb bombs that are just covered with, fiber. And as you see here with the macros for each serving size, that's the case. I've only been eating it half a cup at a time so far, and it's just 15 grams of carbs just for it. It tastes good, but I'm gonna try to find something else in the future. But this is the channel I got it from. But Mike G from Pro Home Cooks is a pretty cool guy. I was watching this video and I just kept thinking, I know most of this, but I learned a few things, and I saw that canning funnel and I decided I gotta get it. I didn't order it. I saw it, you can also get it as part of a larger canning kit, but this is for the future. And as you see, yesterday I did not get enough steps in. I stopped walking to actually make that freaking ice cream, and I paid for it, So I have to at least meet status every day or I'm out. So I'm not going to get distracted again. I only needed to walk for 7 to 8 minutes. So I screwed myself. I went up by half a pound, Wasn't too disappointed. Blood pressure's just blah. But you see things are getting so better. I mean, glucose is lower, ketones dropped by 0.1, but it's still low. As we look at the trends here with the glucose by the weeks. See that okay overall? I'm doing kind of better over time with that. With the ketones, okay, that is going to take some time to pick back up since I'm not doing the chain fasting anymore. But plenty of people do it without fasting. And I'm pretty much doing intermittent fasting with, anywhere between 18 to 20 something hours before eating most of the time. So my GKI is looking better. And as you see here, these are the new measurements. So as she did this yesterday. All these measurements are from Thursday, and I just figured, I'm going to keep them up here. This is not going to be a daily thing. I'm thinking that I'm just going to do this whenever I do an on-camera weigh, and I might start doing those once a week. So if I'm going to start doing it once a week, that means that tomorrow's weigh-in is going to be on camera as well. So it doesn't hurt. If I do the measurement, I might do it on camera, but it's definitely going to be one of those sped up videos. So you'll see me starting and I'll just speed through the whole thing, because as you see, there is a lot here to get through. I was actually kind of surprised by some of these numbers. The one that surprised me the most was my neck. 18 inches, I never even thought about the circumference of my neck. I'm like, dang, okay. I'm a big guy, but I didn't realize it. Didn't realize just how big my neck and other body parts are. But I'm not disappointed. In fact, what I'm disappointed in is my pickles. That's the 64-ounce jar, one of the three. I mean, out of all the jars I had, one of my 64 ounces had an improper seal on it, so there was excess gas that caused the lid to pop out. So I'm happy that I got most of them right. But as I checked the pH, it was great. You want your pH to be under 4.6, but you don't want it to be really at 4.6 or really 4.5 or below. Most of my jars were at a 4.0, just about even as you saw there, or the lowest I got was like a 3.7 something. So as far as my pH, my acidity went with the vinegar, my thought process was right. Boiling just the pure vinegar that I like to use helped to lower whatever the concentration was since we lost liquid, so that helped to preserve it. And everything that came out was edible. I mean, I was happy. I mean, nothing was actually spoiled except for that one jar with the popped lid. But the thing is, I used a different type of pickle when I made it this last time. I normally just use whatever regular cucumbers are. I ended up using English cucumbers for this, and I finally saw today when I was looking up things you're not supposed to. And then the reason why is that they have an enzyme in them, as well as a few other pickles, where they will go mushy if you don't have the right type of preservatives and things to counteract it. So I would have needed to put some grape leaves in to help counteract all the mushiness. And I was originally planning to use horseradish, which would have a more mild effect, but would have helped out a bit. I forgot to put horseradishes in my jars. So I looked up a lot about the pH and other things just to make sure that wasn't it, and it wasn't, but I ended up having to toss them all out. I did not like that. And I found this site here that you see on the screen, and it helped me to figure out a lot of things, a lot of problems that people ran into. I broke one of my rules of learning, which is to not just figure out how things can go right, but how they can go wrong. Normally I spend like 8 to 9, for every minute I spend looking up for how to do something right, I usually spend at least 8 or 9 more minutes looking up how it can go wrong. I did not do it at all when I started making pickles. I just looked and I was like, oh, it's simple, and whenever I do that type of thinking, I have issues and make mistakes like this. I figure, what's the point of doing something or learning something or trying to attempt something if you're not going to do it right? And if you're not going to understand how you can go wrong? Because you're not the first person that desires to do something. You're not the first person that has an issue. So my thought is like, yeah, very few thoughts are actually unique in this world. So take advantage of all the shared knowledge, of all the free information out there. See how people mess up. I mean, this isn't even a new field. This is long and ongoing. The only part I really applied this approach to with the pickles wasn't just looking at the recipes. My recipes are very odd because I don't water them down. I don't do the regular canning processes. What I do with my recipes is that I just use straight vinegar, and that's because I love the straight vinegar taste. I love it so much. It's very strong. It's very nice. I acquired it very quickly. The first time I did it, I was very much in love with it. And I'm going to make some more soon. And actually, let me give you a better show of how things actually went wrong with this. So here comes a separate video. Go more in depth. So let me show you what I mean by mushy. Okay, so I'm just going to take one of these out. It's still holding its shape. Put it down on this paper towel. Applying a moderate amount of pressure. This is barely any pressure. Such a waste. Do it from the opposite side. Okay, and now for a moderate amount of pressure. This one's holding a little bit better from this end. There we go. So I'm guessing that these are not all uniformly bad, so let me go deep inside. But that's not gonna work. Let me just toss some of these to the side. I use pickling spices, salt, and a few other spices, as well as straight apple cider vinegar. So the pH of this is right, so I'm glad I got that part right. I sterilized these properly, but one of my bigger mistakes was I didn't use the same type of cucumber this time as I normally do. Like, these are English cucumbers, and I looked at some stuff just now and saw, oh, you shouldn't use them. I was like, oh, they were cheaper. Or at least they weren't cheaper, they were more available. The regular cucumbers that I normally use for this sort of process was not available, so I went with the English cucumbers, and they're mushy. People recommend to not use them, and it's probably because they have enzymes within them that would make them mushy. You can counteract that by using doing something like putting grape leaves inside the container, but I didn't know that at that time. That's my loss. I would toss one of these 64 ounce jars out completely. That's the second one. I normally have 3 of these 64 ounce jars. The rest of these are 32 ounces. And I'm really proud that at least, nothing's had obvious signs of spoilage before opening except for this one. This is the only container that doesn't have a flat lid. See, it popped out. It's hard to get this on camera, but it popped out. The rest of these are flat. can see the differences between them. So this one is definitely better. I mean, there's also quite a bit of white sediment down here at the bottom. Or maybe I was just messing with this and it's probably mixed back in. But I don't trust anything in here. That jar down there, I can probably eat the pickles if I wanted to. But, I mean, they pickle properly. But because I did nothing to preserve their firmness, they're just mush. Now, maybe if I wanted to make relish or something, that would be a way to save them. But I don't like relish. I don't like the texture, I don't like the feel, and then you still want to have a bit of firmness in the pickles that you're using to make relish with. I mean, I can't think of nothing. I'm about to toss all of these out. So, including the apple cider vinegar and the actual cucumbers, and not counting my time, I wasted about $15. So, financially, not that bad. Especially since I did free work, you know, slave labor for me, using me, but this is such a waste. I'm going to go back to just making refrigerated pickles for a while. And you know, I was going to use horseradish in these as well to help preserve them and give them a bit of kick at the same time, as well as a few other things to help with preservatives, but I forgot to put them in, and I was pissed when I put these up. Like, these aren't going to have the, you know, the stronger and more strong taste mixed with the spicy taste that I wanted, but I still love that strong taste. So I'm going to empty all these cans out, and then I'm just going to go to the store this weekend or sometime next week and just buy a bunch of cucumbers, pickle them inside 2 of these 64-ounce containers with one of my basic recipes, and then just get to eating them a week later. Should have been doing that anyway. I kept myself from one of the things I love most for about 3 to 4 months now, and I was expecting better. I was expecting a great reward, but I screwed myself over. So this is one of those times where you mess up and you learn. Messed up really badly here. Oh, and the other spice I didn't mention was a pickling spice down here. So this is a nice little assortment as well. But a string phase. But thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you all. Have a great day.